This is a little mini series of videos that I'm going to be making about different garments that I made during isolation that I didn't necessarily record the construction of. Living in a small apartment with a spouse and a dog, it's not always possible to be able to film every project that I have on the go. So I've been selecting projects specifically for filming. That has led to some really excellent flexibility, but it also means that you don't get to see it and I don't get to show it off. So this series is going to be me trying to show off a couple of those things without going too deep into the details of construction, which I don't have footage for. To begin this series, I introduce the American Duchess 1910s cape pattern. This pattern was made available by American Duchess for free for download on their Patreon page. You don't have to be a patron to download the pattern, but try to remember that American Duchess is a company, and so if you can at all possible, please consider supporting them either by purchasing their products or by supporting them on Patreon. It makes a huge difference. The cape is made out of a few simple pieces. They are a collar contrast, a back piece, the sleeves, which are just the cape panels, and then the front panels that wrap around under the arms of the wearer and fasten at the back. I fasten them with hook and loop fasteners, and that's it. After a quick comparison between the measurements of the pattern and my own measurements, I decided it probably wasn't necessary to size up or down the pattern as it was. In my stash, I had a large section of this orange fabric, and I knew that because it was polyester, I would never want it on a garment that sat really close to my skin. An outerwear project seemed perfect for that. The lining is actually silk. I thought it was polyester when I started, and then it turned out to be actual silk, so I'm not 100% sure that I would have used it, considering that this project was a bit of an experiment, but I really like the look of it. I loved the color, especially as compared with the orange. I feel like that contrast is really nice. This pattern has really simple and straightforward instructions. American Duchess is really good for that, actually. The thing came together super easily. It was really intuitive to understand how the different shapes interacted and how everything came together. That's it until I got to the lining. The lining was a nightmare. It stretched and warped a lot during cutting, and this is despite my best efforts. I knew that this would probably happen, and I tried to be really careful. Pattern weights and, measuring twice and being really, really specific, but somehow it just didn't work out. And so it ended up with a super differently shaped lining piece to the corresponding back pieces. And as a result, I ended up having to do the hem of each of them about 4 times, just because every time I would sew the hem, it was either bagging in the wrong place or it was catching or puckering or something like that because the shapes didn't align, so I had to kind of paste and fill as I went, and that was a chore. It still kind of puckers a little bit in weird places. It doesn't hang completely correctly. Given the opportunity to do this again, I probably wouldn't use such a slippery lining fabric, or if I did, I would interface it enough for it to be steady. Truth be told, the shoulders are still a little narrow, and if I really wanted to change it, I probably could without too much trouble. But it's for me, it looks fine. It's a lovely shape, so frankly, I'm not terribly fussed. I'm okay with it as it is. The fastenings were super simple. The hook and eyes that I used are extremely large because I wanted to use these vintage hook and eyes that I have because I felt like they went really nicely with the back pieces. You could just as easily use buttons or ties or a zipper even, probably. I think this pattern really is amenable to adjustment based on your preferences for assembly, as well as probably your flexibility or accessibility if some people can't reach behind them all that well. If it wasn't for the lining nightmare, this could have been a weekend project, honestly. I can see why the hashtag American Duchess Cape Cult caught on as well as it did. It is a really pleasing looking garment. It's history boundy. American Duchess adapted this from an original garment, so it does have that vintage flair. I'm very impressed. I liked this quite a lot. It was a really fun project to do, lining torture aside. And even if I'm just out walking the dog, if I throw this thing on, I just feel so elegant and so fancy. I love the way that it swishes, but it's not super heavy. I love the way that it feels. Thanks for watching. Thanks especially to all of the new folks who are here. There's a lot more of you than there used to be, so that's cool. That's a lot of fun. If you'd like to stick around, please subscribe so you get notified when I upload a new video. And in the meantime, in the comments below, let me know if you have made this pattern or if you want to make this pattern. And I'll look forward to reading the comments and your experiences. Have a really great rest of day, and I'll see you soon. Are still... What? What do you want? Who is buzzing me? You don't have to be a patron. What is happening? I was getting ready for this video and putting on my makeup and doing my hair, and I genuinely put on perfume thinking that that you could smell me. Oof.